Hello there, Den of Geek fans. I am your host for the next 30 odd minutes, Aaron Sagers from Travel Channel's Paranormal Caught on Camera, and also a contributor of denofgeek.com. And I'm really excited about this guest that we have on today. He's a hell of a great guy. I've had the fortune of hosting for him multiple times at comic conventions, and he's a hilarious but also a kind gentleman. But really, there's a lot of actors out there, a lot of people that are called the hardest working person in show business. But in this case, I don't think it's hyperbole at all to apply it to Alan Tudyk, because from Firefly to Frozen, Rogue One to Wreck-It Ralph, Harley Quinn to Con Man, and now not content to have one show out there, he has two shows currently airing on Syfy alone, the animated series Devil May Care, and of course, Resident Alien, which airs Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time and Pacific, which means we have a new episode. Episode 4 is airing tonight. And of course, he is currently on the Harley Quinn show as the voice of the Joker. So let's get to it. And without further ado, let me bring this gentleman in, Mr. Alan Tudyk. Alan, how are you, man?
Hey, how's it going? I'm good.
It's going
Welcome
great.
To my curtains and flowers.
They're gorgeous.
The curtain flower corner.
I know it does look like a very serious interview style, though. This is typically where we would modulate your voice and maybe blur your face and get you to confess secrets or something.
Yes, yeah, I'm whistle blowing.
Yeah. Well,
I ran drugs for the somebody cartel. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know my cartels these days.
I know. Sorry, I should have briefed you on the cartels before we went live. Well, before we get into too many questions about Resident Evil or Resident Alien, different resident.
Different
resident. I know that you're originally from Texas. You still got family there. Overall, how are you doing in these very strange times, on top of how is your family in Texas right now? There's horrible stuff going on out there.
Everybody in my family is doing okay. Thank you for asking. There's some people who've lost power and have lost water, but there's enough family there that are going to absorb them into their homes and who still have water and power. So that's good.
Yeah.
As far as during this time, I'm in Canada. My wife and I moved here to do Resident Alien. We shoot it up here, and then when COVID happened, we stopped the production, and everybody went back mostly to LA, except for the Canadian actors here, and we stayed on. And it was like, it's spring, it's summer, let's stay here. Plus this COVID thing, I can't imagine how that's going to be handled by what at that time was the Trump administration, and we never went back. I haven't been home in over a year, so yeah. I've been living here, among the green verdant curtains of Vancouver.
Vancouver is not a bad place to be holed up. In fact, there's so much production happening there, or there was. Have you felt like Resident Alien has been somewhat enveloped by that Vancouver production world? A lot of CW shows. I mean, it's CW land overall.
Right.
But have you felt enveloped the warm embrace of the Vancouver production scene?
Yeah, it's a small town. My wife's working on something right now, choreographing, and then I've gone over to their production office, and I'm running into people that I know over there that I had just who worked on Resident Alien, now work over there. I'm going to be shooting a movie here in town, and my hair person is the same hair person who worked on Resident Alien. So it's a small town. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of interesting segue into this next question, because really, in the many times that I've spoken to you many times over the years, all for different projects, it seems like. And you are not just a busy guy, but an insanely busy guy. And I want to pick your brain a little bit on your work ethic. Explain this philosophy to be working on so many projects, multiple projects at once. Where does that come from? When did you kind of develop this idea of like, no, it's not enough to work on one series as top of the call sheet, the lead. I'm going to do multiple projects at once.
Right. I've changed. I've gotten more about living life than just working. It was pointed out to me after I got married that I do that. I sort of would always just say yes. You've got agents and managers. They go, "You should do this. Is a good idea," and they said we can make it work. And then so I just say, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I'm the kind of actor that can be slotted into different things. I can do a lot of different styles of productions. So luckily I could get a little thing over here and a little thing over there. And so if the jobs came along, I would just say yes. I never took vacations. I never even understood what that, like, I went on a 3-week vacation right before I got married with my wife, and hated it. Couldn't stand it. I was like, we gotta leave. We can't be here anymore. I can't relax anymore. But I've gotten better. I think the whole world's gotten better at relaxing.
Yeah.
We didn't have a choice.
Says the man involved with 3 TV shows and about to shoot a movie. And yeah, no, you're like Mr. Chill now. I mean, was any of that, I've spoken in the past to like William Shatner, and that's a guy he's taken on a lot of different projects, and he's taken on some different projects at once. And it's something that seems to be a recurring theme with actors, especially early on in their career, is a little bit of that insecurity. Like, take it now because you don't know when it goes away. Was there any of that early on with you that, go now while you can?
Yeah, I hustled a lot in the beginning. I remember I was doing this play off Broadway, but when you do plays, you don't make any money. Like you're off Broadway in like with the Minetta Lane Theater. I was doing a play called Most Fabulous Story Ever Told. I was the lead, and I think I was making $700. I want to turn off my notifications. My God, this is Curtain World. You can't have Do Not Disturb, for Christ. This is a professional production. I think I was making $700 a week in Manhattan, where nothing. So while I would do that, I would get off Sunday night, get on a red eye, fly to LA and do pilot season auditions on Monday, leave either Monday night or Tuesday morning, get back to Manhattan in time to like eat and then go to the theater and do my Tuesday night show. While I was doing a movie, like I don't know, I was like, I think back to that, I was always hustling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that fear of, I mean, every job, and even Resident Alien, it's gotten really good reviews, and it's gotten people watch it, and it's gotten good ratings and all of that, as far as I can tell. And not a big math guy, but we haven't been picked up for a second season. And so I think, well, this is good. It's doing really well. I hope we get a second season. But if not, because it did really well and I didn't completely fall on my face, I might work again. I used to have that in my head.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think you're going to be okay.
You never know. But thank you. I hope so.
We'll see how this interview goes. I don't know, but I think you're going to be okay. Harry is essentially learning to be human, maybe not entirely by his choice or preference, but to fit in, he's how to laugh at the punchlines, how to move, how to behave, understanding the lingo. He's a very relatable outsider. Have you ever been that person who had to kind of figure out how to fit in or how to move about normal, polite society? I think a lot of us have out there. How about you?
Right. Yeah, I think everybody, when does it stop? You're always introduced into new, unless your life gets very small, and predictable, and you're only around the same people all the time. But even then, new things come up. When I first moved to New York, certainly it was a big fish out of water moment coming from Texas, and I didn't know anything about Manhattan except that it would kill you, and I didn't know anything about Juilliard, and it was a crash course there. But even like, you go to I have been invited to parties,
mm-hmm.
and they'll be like, oh, it's an Emmy party. And because At one time, I was nominated for an Emmy. I get an invitation to come to you go there, and I'm so uncomfortable until I find somebody that I can latch onto, and you become my new best friend and ground me in that I know a person, or I'm already, my breathing is.
I know. I'm getting a little anxious actually as well. Were you, when you first moved to New York, or when you first kind of branched out, was there ever like that affectation, and within the show? Okay, so Harry likes the hat. He likes the cowboy hat.
Right.
Was there ever that affectation? Leather jacket, cool hat, like I'm cool, Alan, now. This is me. I'm that guy now.
I had 2 earrings. I had a double pierce. I got a double pierce going. Double hoops. They're still there. When I did dodgeball, I was Steve the Pirate, and he wore earrings. Those were my filled. I came with my own holes to fill. Thank you. But yeah, that I had this really cool hat that I wish I still had, but I totally could not pull it off. It was kind of like a hat you might see in the cartoon Fat Albert, really wide with a denim hat and a little brim here, like one of those really cool funky hats that I could not pull off. I grew a goatee. It was acting school, I think I got away light. Some people go to acting school and they change more than that.
I just hope that there are pictures of this out there somewhere, of the hooped floppy hat, Alan.
There is wearing a very tight pair of jeans. Like, what did they start out less tight, or was that my freshman 5? I don't know. It was 15, very tight, very tight. Oops, I kind of lost you there. Are we having internet difficulties?
I know. I kind of lost you for a second as well.
No.
But I'm back. Can you hear me? Oh
no.
Okay, Alan, did you lose me?
You're there for me.
Okay, good. Gotcha. Well, I'll ask you another question. We'll just keep on trucking.
Soldier on.
Yes. So when you're approaching the role of Harry, was he say a droid or a robot wise, vocal wise, like what was sort of your approach as opposed to those other characters? Obviously you're not wearing a mocap suit, but talk a little bit about how that approach differed in establishing this kind of someone that's not not used to that skin.
Right. I approached it similar to how I approached robots, Sonny especially, because Sonny for my robot, I showed up here in Vancouver for a month, I guess, figuring out how Sonny was going to move, and it was about this ergonomic movement. This what is it called? It's called Alexander technique, where your spine is very straight, but it's how you're meant to move. What is the most efficient way to move as a human? So that's what Harry ends up getting to ultimately after falling and trying to find his new center of balance. There's only 2 arms instead of 4. And then vocally, also similar. If you're going to form words with this physiology, is it tongue? Breath comes over the back of the tongue there, like it's just becomes a mechanical thought process. So there's some of that's just kind of a simultaneous thought as I'm acting. So I'm thinking how to make the words go, and then also the emotion that comes behind it and all the thoughts and wants and stuff. It's a little trick. It's a technical little trick to it.
As far as that technical trick, I mean, you've kind of perfected this ability to be silly. You're very good at being silly, and that is a compliment. It's okay to be silly.
Thank you. Yes. I took a clown class before we shot the season. I had taken a clown class at Juilliard and by Chris Bays, and I have a lot of clown friends. Clowns are not killers. Clowns are not killers. So it's a fictional thing. They're wonderful. They're like if a child grew up and was never told no. That's sort of the idea behind it. And I love these clown classes. So I took a clowning class because it's about discovery and it's about being silly. There's like these here's a great clowning exercise. If anybody out there wants to know, what did you do in a clown class? You leave the space. You leave the door because it's a classroom type thing. So everybody sits down. Everybody in the class is sitting down. You leave the space. You come into the space. Here's the idea. You've just heard the funniest joke in the world. And you come in and you see us and you want to tell us the joke. But you're laughing too hard to tell it. And that's the exercise. So you come in just yeah. And then it's as long as you can keep that ball in the air and keep that life, that freshness, that joy, that all of that. And I think there's some of that in Harry, and that's part of the silliness and the fun.
Did you have a clown name in clown class?
No, I should. I don't. I'm the clown without a name. It's terrible. My good friend's name is Bilbo. No, he's Bembo. Such a great name. The guy who's supposed to give me a name hasn't given me a name. I have no name. Sad.
Maybe that's something that you have to earn.
It's something a clown teacher gives you. You can't name yourself. I did a clown show where I was named Flan, but that wasn't right. It didn't sit right. Everybody knew it. Flan, it was so made up. Delicious dessert though.
And I do apologize. It does seem like we're having a little bit of a lag, but I think it's catching up now. Harry is definitely gaining these human characteristics on developing these needs, or is it a strength? I mean, it also means that he's doing a great job fitting in, or a better job.
It's problematic. He's there to kill everyone. He has so much to do. He doesn't need to deal with emotions and needing to sleep and being lonely. It complicates everything. Plus, he has to kill everyone. If you can identify with the people that you are supposed to kill, in my experience, it's harder to kill the people I identify with. Once I start to see the world through the eyes of my victims, I don't want to kill them anymore. That's been the case time and again. I've had to learn that lesson a lot in life.
You'll get there. I mean, it's a learning process.
Is it lagging for you? Am I lagging for you? I hope
it
I'm
is.
not.
Yes.
Damn it.
Just a little bit, but it's okay. We're like, this is look, 2020, 2021. I will say that despite the fact that he has to kill the child Max, do you think Harry's developing this level of respect for this kid because this child is just undaunted? He's relentless, and he went from fearful to almost fearless in these interactions with Harry. And I know, without spoiling anything, we see a little bit more of that in episode 4 tonight.
Yes, there's a dinner. I'm invited over to have dinner at Max's house by his father, the mayor, and so I'm stuck in a house with this kid. And Yeah, he goes quickly from the defense into the offense. He's on the offense, and it's great. And he's got Sahar with him, who's fantastic, and they're formidable enemies. They're tough, but I'll kill them. I'll kill those kids. I'll get them. I'll get them one of these days.
I do like that within the show thus far, Harry that edge, but he also relationships are getting more complicated. He goes on a date this next night, this next episode. What can you tell us about date night for Harry, and is he into it, like as an alien? Is he into this whole romantic setup?
No, I mean, no. I think he gets Darcy is who's on the date with. She's the bartender, and she's very aggressive, and he can be affected by a woman's affections as far as physically. We're going to learn a little bit about that. He gets a little physical, but it's not his choice. He doesn't want to get together with a human. It's disgusting. It'd be like, I mean, it's a different species. It'd be like The Shape of Water. That was disgusting. What was that? What was happening in that bathroom? That shouldn't happen. That was, my God.
We're taking that Oscar back from Guillermo and Doug Jones for the lag here. I know it's painful for you, but look, we're on the home stretch here. I mean, I just want to. I did notice that in an earlier episode of Resident Alien, we do see some ancient aliens name checked on the show, and Harry mentioned Stonehenge. So as far as that loneliness goes, is it reasonable to think that okay, we know that they've been on Earth before, his species, maybe they...
We will see. That's good. You're
okay.
Very smart. That's just by yourself. You're very smart. That has nothing to do with the question. Just, I need to say that from time to time. Damn, you're smart.
I appreciate that, Alan. I needed that affirmation. Before, you know,
I wish I could.
As UFO stories, alien stories, that if there's more news about UFOs in the mainstream press, I mean, what's your take on all this? And do you think it's out there? Do you think that perception has shifted in the mainstream culture about extraterrestrial life? Are we at a point where we're a little bit more willing to embrace this notion of intelligent life out there?
It feels like it. I believe it. I think everybody believes it. There's enough stuff out there now. Well, not everybody. But a lot of people, it is becoming more accepted. Elon Musk is obviously an alien, and people have really embraced him. And his child that he named like a series of numbers and characters. He builds rockets in his spare time. I mean, this guy is such an alien. He's only trying to get home, and I think it's great that we support him. But yeah, I think everybody is coming around. I'm ready for contact. I'm ready for some help.
Yeah,
I think we all. But that's the contact I want. The very specific contact I want. Helper aliens who come down and go, here's some technology to fix all the things.
Yeah, but in in the Twilight Zone, that doesn't work out so well. We get the Canimets who now want to it's a cookbook situation. So do you think that if there were aliens here, that they would actually want to help us out, or they would just see us as, put them in a zoo or use them as a food source?
I think the best we can hope for is what we do with like the Western civilization does with ancient tribes they find in the lost tribe in the Amazon. Like, don't leave them alone. Let them, the best version of our help is don't bother them. I think that's probably what they've been doing. They'll take a few of us and probe us but overall, it's best to leave us alone. I wish, it's tough. It's tough to know. I do believe they exist. I do believe Roswell was a crash that really happened. I think we benefited from the technology. I don't know what I base all these things on, but I believe that.
I suspect if they're moving about Earth, maybe they're just watching us, but it's just going to take like one missionary alien to blow it all up. That's going to come here and be like, can I tell you about our Lord and Savior Glurp?
Yes, that's where it's going to come out.
Game over then. Like they're going to give us some blankets and we're going to just think, oh, we can trust these nice aliens.
And a bunch of people will be like, I'm sign me up, blurp. Yep, that's great.
Well, and just finally, as we're rounding out the half hour, will we ever get to see more Ray Nearly and Con Man? I mean, and if not, what was planned for the future adventures of Ray?
Right, it was all set up that they were going to start Dr. Cop Lawyer. That's right. There was going to be a TV show, Dr. Cop Lawyer, that Ray was going to be the lead of, but Jack takes the lead from him. And then what happens is Jack's career takes back off, and so he dumps the lead and Ray gets it. Like Ray was going to get it again. And Ray was gonna get cast out of the sci-fi community because Ray was terrible. Ray was not good. Ray didn't appreciate his life, so Ray was gonna have to transgress more and more to where the sci-fi fans finally said, "We don't want you." And then he has his wake up moment, his realization of, "Oh my God, I need you. I want you," and I didn't realize how good I had it. And then he has his slow slog back. But there would definitely have been him returning to New York and doing some clowning plays, so I could have got some clowning in there. There was a Vegas con called the one in Vegas. We referred to it a lot. F Vegas. Screw Vegas, because it was a sci-fi con that coincided with a porno convention, and which called Screw Vegas, and that was going to be a big episode. Mm-hmm. I had some of that one written. There were some other good ones. There was maybe like I don't know. It'd be cool to do like a little special, like just do the Screw Vegas con would be really fun. So but I feel like cons are not the same anymore. Well, now there's no cons, but like when I first conceived of Con Man, it was at a time when cons were small and crazy and kooky, and now they're so accepted and big. It's almost like to say that for an actor to say, I don't want to go to a con. I'm a bet, have a full head, big head, thinking he's bigger than sci-fi. What actor doesn't want to be in sci-fi now?
True.
Like when you go to cons, it's like, oh, there's Alice Cooper. I mean, it would have to evolve. Like, it's weird. Like I know actors who have been in a lot of sci-fi that can't get invited to cons because even though they were in cool sci-fi things, they weren't the coolest. They weren't good enough.
It'll be interesting to see sort of once cons, when they do return, there is going to be a contraction, I would assume, of how big the cons are. So it almost would be interesting to see Ray in that new world down the line. And And just finally, what's next for Joker and Clayface when Harley Quinn returns? Is Joker living the good life in the suburbs? Is there anything you could say about Clayface's next big role? Anything at all?
I hope Clayface comes back with his character of Stephanie. I think that was her name, Stephanie, who was she was the sorority girl at Riddler U, and she has a boyfriend, Chad. I think, I don't know if it was Chad, but he has huge areolas. They touch in the middle. That's such a disgusting and bizarre visual. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't seen any scripts. They're being written right now.
Well, it is a great show, and really, I do applaud you for Resident Alien. It is such an entertaining series, and again, airs Wednesdays at 10 p.m. We have episode 4 tonight, and a couple more episodes after that. And
there's a new important character tonight that shows up, and it's cool. It's cool.
Okay,
check it out.
That's a good tease. All right. Well, Alan, great to see you, sir. I hope to see you back out there at cons at some point in the future. And apologize for the internet. Something apparently got clogged in the tubes. But compared to people out there that don't have any power or water, I think we still did pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. It's really good to see you, man. This was fun.
Good to see you, Alan. And thanks for everybody for joining us. This has been Den of Geek with Alan Tudyk, Resident Alien, new episode tonight at 10 p.m. So, guys, check that out, and we'll see you at another Den of Geek live stream.
Cheers.